I have a question.
Yes. You in the salmon shirt?
It's red.
It's salmon. Welcome to New Game Plus. This is a retro gaming podcast where three guys spend 7 days playing one old game and then we talk about it. My name's Dustin.
My name is Kenny.
Nolan here.
Hello, Paul. And this is episode 444. And the question of the week is, what sports do you think can make the most fun games?
We all love sports here.
Well, it's weird how you actually kind of do.
No, I do. I like a sport. I don't really like a lot of sports. I'll tolerate some. It's basketball in real life and also video games because NBA Jam, because that game exists. That's why it's the right answer.
I accept the NBA Jam part of that, but all the rest of it was wrong. Kenny, do you like a or more sports?
I like sports.
Which ones?
You don't care who knows?
I don't care who knows.
Wait, let me guess which sport you like. Soccer.
No, Kenny does not like soccer.
I would have thought if any that would be the
First
one.
of all, Kenny actually doesn't. There's right now he's not going to be able to give us a sport he actually likes.
I don't actively follow many sports. No, but I enjoy them.
If you enjoyed them, you would actively watch them.
He likes girls sand volleyball.
Hey, me too, brother.
I do like sand volleyball, but no, that's a play it, don't watch it sport. Volleyball's fun.
No, that's a watch it, don't play it.
Sand up in the no, I ain't playing volleyball.
No. So Nolan's submission
also,
is basketball.
Tennis is goated.
For sport or game?
Both.
No.
Mario Tennis.
This sounds like a cop-out answer, but it's not. The most fun sport for a game is the sport that you like. A lot of sports don't make very good games. I know there are wildly popular video games. Like, more people play FIFA than have children these days. And but soccer doesn't translate well to a game, but people love it.
Wrong.
It's
you haven't tried it.
It
actually is shocking.
No, it
no,
doesn't.
it is shocking how fun it is.
It does. No, it doesn't. But
is that your answer?
That's not the point. My answer is you play the game of the sport you like. And barring that, you find something that has complexity or interesting mechanics. Like American football should make for a better game than soccer does. I don't think it always does.
NFL Blitz, bro.
But if you think about how well it will translate into a game and what you have the option to do, it would be better. But you're only going to like it if you're a football fan. It's just it's a bad
Go
question.
Cowboys.
Great. So it's a bad question, but a great answer. The sport that you enjoy most. Thank you. Thank you for that. I bring before you two superior answers. One,
don't say wrestling.
He's better
one
than me.
that both of y'all would agree with, and Kenny will be like, I should have answered that, but he won't now because I said that. Pro skating.
No. I disagree, and not just because I'm a contrarian.
The question was talking about traditional sports, not extreme sports.
Wait,
obviously.
What? No.
Yes.
What sport? Obviously pro skating, and the other is hoverbike racing.
Both of y'all's answers are
I don't know
stupid.
anything about hoverbike racing.
Yes, you do. You played Jet Moto and been sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Okay, that's ridiculous and whatever. Can we go back to the first one? Because I'm wrong. I don't like the Tony Hawk games and I'm bad at them, but they do make excellent video games.
Okay, if we're doing X
So you're
Games
right.
mode,
Snowboard
games, SSX Tricky, 1080,
they
Snowboard
work.
Kids.
They work okay, but skateboarding is the same, but
Is the
better,
superior?
more complexity.
That is true.
Yeah,
we all agree with me.
No, I don't agree with you. I think
is.
that both of y'all had terrible cop-out answers. Hoverboard.
Other sports that make better games than the actual sport is in real life,
Golf.
and I actually think Tony Hawk might actually be that way. Possibly golf and possibly wrestling.
Well, okay.
Wrestling's not
wrestling is a sport. Let's not say all of them.
I didn't say that.
Because you can let us know what you think is the correct answer for
don't
what
wanna know
sport,
what
not
they
necessarily
think.
traditional. Makes the most fun game. You can drop that in our
don't
Discord
do that.
channel. We've got a question of the week section there. We'd love to hear your
bother.
thoughts. One sport I noticed none of us mentioning was thumb wrestling. It would hands down be the most nail-biting sport of the game. Sport of the game? Nail-biting sports game. That's what I meant. But if that's not your type, then try a different one. Like in our retro game of the week, the typing dead. Nope, the typing of the dead.
Overview.
The Typing of the Dead is a quasi-edutainment reskin of the popular arcade light gun shooter, The House of the Dead 2.
First reskinned game on the podcast?
It's certainly
No.
one of it's weird.
Kenny straight quickly answered no. So what is the other reskinned game we played on the podcast?
said no.
We've played so many, so
He's
it's
just
impossible.
he's playing statistics.
I have a sense that the
It's
answer
just a
would
crazy
be no.
thing to quickly
It's a
and
safe-
confidently answer no.
He's-
Now,
And I'm pretty sure I'm right.
you are right, but
See?
because Super Mario Bros. 2 was a reskin.
Oh, Lost
Wow.
Levels.
Of,
Wow.
of Doki Doki
Yeah.
or whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
But
Kenny was right, but he didn't know he was. So
right,
don't
he
give him
just
credit.
played
I did
statistics.
know I was
like he
right.
was just assuming.
Yeah, Math and I are buddies. That's fine. In this game, instead of killing zombies with guns, you're destroying them by successfully typing words and phrases.
Yeah.
The plot mimics the story of the game it's based on, where you find yourself playing as an AMS agent. It's the fictional organization you work for. You've been dispatched to Venice, Italy to investigate a zombie outbreak. You learn soon that all of the chaos has been caused by the mysterious Goldman, and you have to type your way out of the zombie hordes and stop his sinister plot to end human control of Earth.
I have a question.
Here's the TLDR. It's zombies, but with keyboards instead of guns.
I have a question.
I probably don't have an answer.
I want you to give me one though.
Okay.
Was this the first arcade game that had a keyboard?
Confidently.
No.
Probably right, just based on how many arcades have come out, but
It's more likely no than yes.
I don't know of any though.
I believe it's the first of this kind that
Certainly.
was.
It's the first I know about. When
It's
they
just funny
showed
because-
the picture of this arcade
Yeah.
game, and instead of like joysticks and three
It looks
buttons,
ridiculous.
It's literally just two keyboards sat right next to each other.
It's great.
It looks so ridiculous. This was an arcade game first. We played it on PC, and so we played the later Windows sort of re-release. But arcade game published by Sega also came out on the Dreamcast and eventually on the PlayStation 2 as well.
Justin
I
has
have
a
a
question,
question.
Kenny.
Okay, I have an answer.
Okay.
Call on him.
Go. Yes. In the third row.
Yes.
From the left.
Did y'all put two and two together that the week that we're playing this game and the week that this episode releases, I will be in Venice, Italy?
Of course I did. And that's funny coincidence. Do you feel like this game helped prepare you for that trip?
I think
Wait,
I know.
Are you taking a keyboard with you?
Well, right, keyboard, and also I was able to kind of like visualize a lot of the places that I'm going to
Yes.
go and visit.
Yeah.
In the duration of the game.
What
so
places to
I'm
avoid?
Really looking forward to some of those. The bridge and the cars and
You think
zombies.
the world building here is as accurate as like
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed? Yeah,
I think it's 1-for-1 Venice for sure.
for sure. They have to get it right here.
I have a question.
Yes. You in the salmon shirt?
It's red.
It's salmon.
This is Sega, you mentioned. I love this era of Sega. I'll remind you that it's often extremely scuffed, but somehow the best thing ever. I'm looking at Shenmue. I'm looking at
Okay.
the Mafia one. The Japanese Mafia.
okay.
Yakuza. There's something about Sega in the 2000s, early 2000s, that has that stink on it, but I like it a lot.
The thing that baffles me about this game is, like, if this was done today, it would be fans that made a mod for a popular game.
Well, this started as a mod.
I don't know how. Well, this was actually developed by real developers and published by Sega, a real publisher. Like,
yes,
I don't know how this was possible, because this is. You need to understand with us going into this. This is a different game. Like, this is House of the Dead 2. It is not based on. It is the House of the Dead 2, but you're seeing the same characters, the same voice acting, the same environments, the same areas. Just instead of using,
changed the mechanic.
They just changed instead of a gun, you're typing words.
Yeah,
which does
that's it.
It does change the gameplay. It does fundamentally. But to be able to do that, like, it's not even a reskin. It is the game.
Yeah, I think it started as a mod that for some reason someone at Sega was like, hey, this would be hilarious. Do y'all want to let them do this? And they were like, yeah, sure.
I love that world where that happens.
Too. Like, I do too. There's probably so many typing of the Deads out there that absolutely got rejected, because of course they did. But this one actually went through customs and was delivered, which is amazing.
I wish it would have started a new subgenre of just modding popular games, but changing the mechanic to typing. Make Sonic go faster by typing faster.
It would be really funny. This specific, like, remake sort of took off and did spawn other kind of similar remakes. There's a iOS game that's like Flick of the Dead, where you're like flicking, reacting instead of typing, instead of shooting. There's English of the Dead, which is another version of House of the Dead 2, but that was released on the Nintendo DS.
What?
I think there's a 4Kids version of this similar premise that was like House of the Bread, that's like gingerbread.
You're making
men.
this up.
Yeah, that last one I don't believe.
Like, for some reason, they were like, this is the one game that we like make jokes and like keep messing with, and then everybody did, and I don't know why.
Your favorite podcast has t-shirts now.
We've got two. One is Castlevania inspired, and the other is Portal inspired.
There are a limited amount of them, and they're really, really well done. Yeah. So you want to pick one up today if you haven't gotten yours yet.
ngppodcast.myshopify.com. Get yours while supplies last.
Gameplay.
Both the House of the Dead 2 and the Typing of the Dead are on rails. It's a rail shooter. But again, instead of shooting a gun, you're shooting them with accurate spelling. And so you are seeing pop up on the screen above and around the zombies letters, words, and phrases in which you must type on a keyboard, whether you're in the arcade or you have the Dreamcast keyboard at home or your PC keyboard in front of you. You're typing these letters, words, and phrases. You're typing words like random words, feudalism, or obsequious, or what?
Egoots,
which is, I would assume, is a real word.
I assume it was.
You're typing phrases like lead an extremely frugal life, or frankly, I don't build a damn, or one that came across my computer and I swore something weird was happening. It was something popped up saying, "Hey Kenny." Did you get that? Hey Kenny. I got freaked out.
Creepy. First of all, second of all, they're randomized.
There's thousands in the library.
There's thousands, and you get your sprint. Yeah, good. Okay.
See, because I didn't get that, but I did get a message that said you should kill Dustin in his sleep.
Oh yeah. I mean, I got that one too. So you're just rapidly typing these phrases to take out the zombies as you would, with a gun shooting. You don't have to reload, and you don't have to focus on capitalization or spacebar. Please tell me that you realized that.
I did realize that, but later in my gameplay than I should have, and it frustrated me so bad.
Punctuation, you still have to type. Obviously, you
gotta come by that honestly.
But the capital, that's kind of cheating. Like, no, I was still hitting the capitals.
Well, here's the problem: it will mess you up if you try to.
Yeah.
Because like it's accurate. The part of the game is it tracks how many like perfect typed words you have in a row, and I'm pretty sure when you hit the shift button,
Excuse me?
it sees it as an extraneous character and ruins that streak.
Oh,
I
does
could
it?
only get my perfect bar to increase when I gave up on typing capital words, even though every word that comes up on the screen starts with the capital letter.
Sure.
You were making typos.
That was really frustrating. You brought that up earlier than I thought we were going to, but I am livid. LIVID, livid.
Period. Exclamation mark.
No, exclamation mark, which I gotta look down for because those symbols are tricky.
Wait. I don't look. I don't look down.
Okay. Do you have something to say? You're gonna
I
say
look
something.
down. Yeah, I have something to
Okay.
say, but I don't. I look down for like $, ampersands, that kind of stuff.
I was gonna be very impressed if you were complete touch typing, even with all of the
Exclamation
symbols.
mark, absolutely, and question mark, absolutely.
Yeah, normal English phrases, quotes, commas, periods, dashes, but like
Tilde.
No,
any of the confusing ones, I gotta look.
I don't look for those. I stick to touch typing on this, but I just smash my finger in the general area on those. So
And-
I don't
and
try for
hope.
accuracy on that. I just go for
probably gotta
like,
rank
yeah, it's a
D on
scatter
that.
shot. It's a scatter
Right, yeah,
shot.
just find one of these.
Now, because it is the typing of the dead, and there's gunshot noises. Sorry, but there are. How does that work practically in the game? Well, you don't have guns, but your agents are equipped with the best thing I've ever
I'm
seen in
telling
my
you.
life. I almost
I'm
fell.
telling you.
I almost fell out of my chair, and this
Nolan.
is why I love Sega. Okay, they need to go back
It's
to this.
so ridiculous.
You don't have guns. You have a keyboard in front of you that is and it's attached to a backpack that is a Dreamcast
With a battery.
with
a
a
giant
battery
battery
on
on
it.
top
Batter-
of
So
a
it.
you're
batter-
mobile.
No, sorry. A giant AA battery. Like
You're
it,
mo-
it-
Yeah,
it's
like a huge
double
one.
A.
I
You're
got-
mobile. You're fully mobile with
when
the
I
keyboard.
when I recognize this, because I didn't at first, because you're not looking for something like that. But when finally the three of them meet up in the town square and are talking, and they've got these
Still got it.
strapped on keyboards in front of them, and then these backpacks, I lost
The funniest
That's
thing I've ever
hilarious.
seen in a game.
They're on straps. So think hot dog vendor
Yes.
at the baseball game.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yes.
like what else do you weirdly strap to the front of you? But it's sitting so high
They're
up.
agents.
It's like
They're
in
agents.
front of their chest and is super close. If you ever actually had to try and type on that with the
would kinda
straps and
work.
with it in front of you, you would have to like reach in from the sides and twist your arms. You would look real unique.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And then like so it is originally an arcade game, and so Dustin was saying the on the rails nature of it is like because here's the thing, I haven't played what's the
House of the Dead
House
2.
of the Dead 2. I haven't played that game. Have
But you
y'all?
played other light gun shooters, and they all
Yes.
operate the same.
The
You're
cop
on
one.
rails. Yeah, with the red and blue guns.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
also think the House of the Dead 2 had red and blue
Sure.
guns. You're on rails, and the things that you do or don't do take you on certain paths, and that's the same here. Like you can save certain civilians or let them perish by the zombies. Cars will come through, and if like they'll ram into certain buildings, that you can then go in there and get certain items that you wouldn't have been able to get otherwise. There's secret paths that open. So we all had different experiences.
Yeah, there's lots of like specific items that you have a very brief window to grab that instead of normally like it comes up on the screen and you would have to shoot it, like you have just like a quick second to type that one specific J or P or V or whatever random letter is associated with it. And if you get it, you might earn some kind of bonus for yourself, but if you don't, missed opportunity. So like you really got to be on your not on your toes, on your fingers.
Come on your A game.
Oh, that would have been good.
on your FJ.
I see what you did there.
You have a few different game modes. The two primary ones, and the ones that we probably got the most experience with and are talking about most, is the original and arcade modes. They both function basically the same. The
you talk about that,
original,
though?
however, gives you power-ups that you can kind of stock and use at different times. You also have different rankings, typing, ability tracking, and certain unlockables that you don't have in the arcade mode. But again, they function generally the same.
Yeah, they're very
This
similar.
is the like third time a Sega arcade game has had modes that were named really stupid. So arcade mode is the like
Base game.
base game traditional mode. Original
Yeah, it should be called
suggests
original.
that, but that's the new mode because in that mode you like Dustin was saying, you can use the items instead of in arcade. They're automatically used when you get them, just because it's like
Right.
the arcade style. There's not going to be a usable menu or whatever.
Original is the way they want you to play it now.
Arcade.
I played through an arcade and enjoyed that. I don't
I
want
did
to.
too.
I played mostly original.
Oh, okay. That's the new mode. So Kenny might be right.
Right.
They may have wanted people to play it.
Original to this console, not original
Right.
game mode. That's really
Or
what
it's
they mean.
originally created for the consoles.
Yeah, bad name. I agree.
But there are like a lot of other modes too. There is a tutorial that kind of
It's hilarious.
it's really funny. All of this game is really funny, but that one's kind of more of the edutainment, like
Yeah.
goes down that path a little more.
tells
like,
you where to put your fingers on the
Yeah.
keyboard, what fingers to use. It gives you some little trials to test your speed and accuracy and those kinds of
Yeah,
things.
Right. It justifies you putting this game into a classroom.
Yeah, which I don't know if you can. Some of the phrases I think are a little risque, but
And the
right. I mean,
gunshots.
you're killing zombies, and the default version starts with blood effects and the whole thing. Like, it's an edutainment game, but it's one that, like, edgy parents are buying for their kids who literally would not type in any other way. It's not going to find its way
Nolan,
into a
I agree
classroom.
with what you're
yeah,
about to say.
but here's the thing. This actually I think would be a really good way to teach someone typing. Unironically.
I'm not saying it's not more effective.
It is-
I think it's a great idea. I think tons of people probably learned to type better or to learn to type because of this
Sure,
game.
sure.
But I'm just saying you're not going to get official like teacher thumbs up approval in a typical educational setting.
Maybe with
when
drill mode.
You're zombies.
But on the edutainment mode, like mindset, this game, more than most of the other edutainment games we play, I feel does its job best. I don't know if like number one out of all the ones that we played, but certainly top three. Like it serves its purpose. If you take away the the PG-13 nature of things, I'm just
Dude.
saying that the method, the mode, how it teaches you, the training mode and the arcade mode, it's educational.
Hard agree. It's so engaging. Even the PG-13 stuff. Let's say your parent on it like got it for you to teach you typing. Who would do that? But let's say that happened, dude. The feedback you get of typing out those
Yeah.
words and the gunshots happening and taking out the zombie,
Yeah.
fantastic.
And the tracking is top
Yeah.
tier.
and
Like it tells you your weak points, and then you can work specifically on those weak points.
yes, and the fact that it does flow kind of like a quick time event. Like you were saying, if you fail or if you succeed on things, it can change your path pretty drastically. Like that part's great. And on that note, I almost fell in my chair laughing again by myself. No one was here. I was playing this game. You're saving people, right? And we'll get to like the voice acting stuff later, but like you're saving people, and so this guy's like dying and like terrified. I save him. He goes from screaming bloody murder. He stops, stands up, and looks at me and goes, "Thank you for saving me." And then he walks away.
Yeah, everyone's pretty chill in Venice.
That voice line's reused every time it happened. It's amazing.
It's really good.
It's so out of place.
I want to say it makes it sound like it's bad, but I almost feel like it was self-aware
I do too.
here.
Absolutely.
It may not have been, but
Absolutely.
it was funny to me regardless. And they went for not just like zombie themes, but in some of the kind of clever phrasing, in some of the jokes that things were being said, in some of the things you're having to type while you're in this zombie world, and like stuff about like having to kick and bite to survive, and like just things that it's very humorous beyond being this frantic sort of non-stop adventure that you're on. They throw a lot of things that are also going to make you like, I don't know, laugh while you're going.
That part's also engaging. Helps with the
kind of crazy
education
yeah.
part.
Yeah, totally.
Can we talk bosses? Bosses,
Yes.
you've got
Dude.
a lot of them, more than you did in, let's say, Castlevania from a little while ago, Castlevania 2, when you had a skippable boss. This one has, I don't know, what, 6, maybe 5, 6, and they all operate slightly differently. Of course, you are typing as you would be shooting in the original game, but they all have some kind of unique quirk about them.
So clever, because like one boss you have to type very, very quickly. One boss you have to type very accurately.
Yeah, that's fun.
One boss you're choosing which phrase you type, and so like you're answering questions, and then outcomes further on in the game depend on which answer you decided to answer as you were doing this boss fight.
One of them's
They just
chasing
throw a
you,
whole bunch of
and it's much longer sentences.
Absolutely. He's getting closer and closer and closer and closer with that chainsaw, and instead of just like short phrases, you got to get all the way through like maybe it's not a chainsaw. He's getting closer and closer and closer to you. It's
The Hydra
it's great
riddles?
variety.
Right, but the thing that is remarkable here is that, again, if we've made this clear, these are all bosses native to the House of the Dead 2.
Yeah.
These developers didn't just half booty it. They decided, hey, how can we take this one mechanic that we've got and make it unique for each of these boss fights? And they did it successfully, where each boss fight felt different. That one that has a spear and you can only type at certain points, so it throws your rhythm off.
It has to be open. Like its chest cavity has to be like open.
And its second phase, it jumps in the water and then it shoots up high and is about to dragoon lance you, and you have to do it in that. Like, that's great. I would love to hear your favorite boss out of those. Mine was the tower, the multi-headed Hydra, where you can only type. You should only type the word that is correct to the question being posed.
I liked. Great. For the value of it, it was probably the most frustrating to me, but the one that put in the twist of accuracy matters. Because I was with you, Dustin, on a lot of these. I was shotgunning. I was trying to go as fast as I could. So, like, if I hit spacebar an extra time, that's fine. Or if I, like, tripped over a letter, no big deal. I'm going to just, like, repeat that letter and keep going.
You don't have to ever hit spacebar.
There was one boss that's like, I know you didn't have to, but I often did until I learned that you didn't have to. But regardless, there's one boss where you have to have your accuracy exactly on. And that was like, oh, like this makes this even more difficult because, I don't know, they just were really clever. You're right, in making it fit what the native boss was doing. And that's not an easy thing to translate into a concept like this.
The Hydra one.
Hydra.
It's I thought that when we get to the first boss, and maybe that one is the most straightforward, I thought it was just going to be like the same as the rest of the game. Like they're throwing things at you, typing, great, okay. But the fact that each one is different and there's a different mechanic at play, and the riddle one, I mean, it's great. It's
the bosses were done so well that the developers were able to, one of the mini modes is a boss rush mode, so you're able to
a boss rush. Yep,
go through.
It's great that they included that.
It's great,
and that in general they included a couple of different like varieties of gameplay. One thing they didn't include though that frustrated me very much was a localization issue. You have the option. This game was originally, I think, built with a like European English audience in mind. You have the option in your settings to go in and change your keyboard layout from a UK keyboard to a US keyboard, which is great. I'm playing on a US keyboard. I updated it just fine. But all of your spellings remain British. So if a word comes up and you're familiar with it and you just type the word as you normally would type it, in the like American English version of it, you're going to misspell that thing because it is not the way that you would expect it to be. Frustrated me to no end. They could have easily updated it to match your spelling with the version of keyboard that you had set. Not hard at all. They didn't. It drove me crazy.
I don't know if I came across any of those words, but I am just going to spell whatever's on the screen. But I will say that I think British spelling on many words is better than American English spelling.
It's classier.
Blonde.
But,
Blonde should have an E on
You're
the
a
end.
traitor
Don't try
to
to end
this
that
country.
with
Why
D.
do you
It's
think that?
ridiculous.
The extra U in like color
Favorite.
and some of those
Armor.
like so yeah, I think there's a lot of places that I agree I prefer it, but you don't natively do that. Like you see some words and you type a word, and the fact that it wouldn't update still bugged me.
Booged you. That was good.
That was a good joke.
We did all the modes, but one of the things that I did want to mention is that I had mentioned it briefly earlier, but the tracking. If we're talking edutainment, one of the things that this game does so well is that at the end of each level, whether you're in the arcade or otherwise, it tells you the percent of words you got right. That's bare minimum, but it goes deeper into that. You've got stats. It like ranks you on speed, accuracy, reflexes, and special keys. And as I already mentioned, you can work on a particular area that you're weak in. And I think with that, kind of different but related, I thought the difficulty scaling of each and every stage was perfect. It started pretty easy, but by the last stage, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think talking about the difficulty of this game is actually really welcome because we are all adults. We all grew up in a generation where typing is a core skill. Like this isn't, we're not in third grade learning typing for the first time. We can type. We can type relatively quickly and relatively efficiently. Like we're not bad at this. And yet, with the stress of this game and all of the zombies coming at you and you having to choose squares and you typing as quickly as you can, but then if you hit a letter and then didn't realize you hit a letter and got caught on the letter, you got to look and see and catch up at it. And maybe some of those single one-off letters that are flying at you at the same time. So I got to stop, and before I start this other phrase, I got to hit it at J and an F, and I got to make choices about which one's the most important and which zombie's closer to me and whether it's spelled correctly or it's spelled in the Britishism version. All of that's going on.
Why did that mess
This
you
is a harder game than you would expect it to be, but like in a rewarding kind of way,
Yes.
where you're like, oh, I should have gotten through that boss. I can do it next time. Like, I just need one more continue, and they give you a rewarding amount of lives. The pacing is insane, where like you jump in and it's just nonstop. This game is a roller coaster. It just, once you hit go, like it doesn't turn off until you get to that stat screen at the end. And I don't know. It just like
STRESSED you out?
a little bit, but also
In a good way.
INTRIGUED'd me as well.
Oh, it did what? Yeah.
Intrigued.
It gave me the same sensation as a bullet hell game. Just like,
of.
The stress
It's
of it
just
all, but it's
nonstop
like
until
good
the
stress.
release at the end.
Yes.
Yep.
It's like,
Kind of.
yeah, I agree. I think the scaling's super solid here. And yeah, I'll save that. I was going to say something else, but it's an aged conversation. The scaling and the difficulty felt right here, and I just would like to know if House of the Dead 2 follows a similar pattern, because I mean it's a different game, but like I don't know. I think it's funny that we've played this game before we played the original one.
It is. It's great.
I just sent you both a link, and I would like for us to do a type racing test against one another live on the episode to test our word per our WPM.
This ain't monkey type.
Our words per minute. This is typeracer.com. There's a lot of quotations and commas.
Who did this? See, I told y'all this isn't the website for this. Commas go inside parentheses. Y'all know that, right?
Almost
most of the
everything
time.
does. Yeah. Axioms. I know y'all aren't there yet, but
I'm there. I'm not even close.
Screw this.
Dang, you are so far ahead, dude. I just got to axioms. I swear if I have to type one more quotation mark, I'm done.
Wow, so bad. All right, so they're about halfway through. I finished first place again with 83 words per minute. I'm serious, that's bad for me. I'm on average about around 100 words per minute.
I am
did
too,
hit
on a real
130
typing
earlier
test.
today. Nolan is going to finish this one with about 57 words per minute, 58 words per minute, second place. And Kenny is coming in at a whopping...
Yeah, I schooled him last time, though.
Oh,
No,
did you?
came in third last time as well.
False.
Oh, no.
No, it's not. It said you got second on the last one.
Trying to get
86 words per minute.
through. Y'all are still distracted.
112 on monkey type.
Dang. See, you're really good. I'm not saying you're not good, but I am better.
Monkey type is good. That's the one that your the keyboard ASMR artists use.
It is. That's where I found out about it. And I have a great keyboard. Should have talked about
Send your best.
You got the clickety clack.
Send your best keyboard ASMR to ngbpodcast@gmail.com.
Aged.
You know what's interesting?
No.
Kenny, from Kenny's age to my age, that range of people,
Yeah, 30 years.
no touch typing or were taught touch typing in computer lab.
Okay, were you, Nolan,
Sure.
do you know what I don't know how to describe it really other than like a rubber overlay
Orange.
for your keyboard is?
Yes, and it was
Okay,
bright
you
orange.
do.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
So yeah, I obviously like crushed the little quizzes, and then I pulled up freeonlinegames.com. But we did that in the computer lab, and then the teacher loved me. Of course, she let me.
Okay,
play games.
no.
Like we played Mortal Kombat. But the generation before us and the generation after us, I think, have no clue how to type like that. Like us, there have been many young people that have like younger
Yes.
than me have talked to me, been like, "What? How are you doing that? How are you not looking?" And I'm like, I don't feel like I'm blazing, but
I don't think they teach it anymore, at least to their degree. They
don't need to.
You know how they taught us that cursive, Pluto, and
Yes.
typing, like all of those were
Yes.
important?
And milk
the only
is good
thing,
for you.
and checks, the only thing, and the food pyramid, the only thing that really stuck through with all of that was the touch typing.
And it's not. Y'all say it's because you went through a class. It's not. I didn't learn. I mean, I went through the
They
class.
didn't
like,
have
it was
computers in your
The,
elementary
no,
school.
the
They
only
hadn't been
reason.
invented yet. Got him.
The only reason we got good at typing is so that we could communicate on like online games and things.
Well,
The
Wow.
need was there.
I honestly think it's a year's difference that really does make that.
no,
Kenny,
he might be
because
right, because think about it. In
for
a
him.
online game like League, you have to
Zerg
quickly
Rush?
talk smack to people, so like quickly, so you can get back to playing, because you need a hand on a mouse. So you quickly
But you
go
don't
like,
have to type
F you,
accurately.
you know, and then you go back.
What I'm saying is, kids these days, whatever, like
play Fortnite.
voice chat or or controller interfaces for their games or phone UI where you're not. That text isn't like necessarily the bedrock of communication that it had always
They don't
been.
need
And I
to
think
know that skill
I think the social
anymore.
elements were a bigger reason that the generational differences are there, if they're there. And like, we get it. Some of you young people can type, some old people can type. Like, we're talking in generalities.
There's
and
not
I think
one
it's a
old
fair,
person that can type. I swear to you, I would bet
and
my
it's a
life on
fair-
that. If I give
You
my
say
dad a
that. Some of those
keyboard,
old
my
school-
dad.
No, you get some of those old school folks that
One
type
finger.
only on typewriters
You're right,
and
no,
couldn't,
you're right, Kenny.
couldn't get things wrong because they didn't have a delete button.
Right.
They were pros.
But they are slower. Here's the thing.
Balls.
The generation under us, so what, Gen Z and even I think Gen Alpha, is that the next
Yeah,
one?
Gen Alpha.
It's kind of honestly, this is true. It's kind of embarrassing to type correctly. So they
Yeah,
intentionally
agree. Yeah,
type
yeah.
without correct spelling and without correct
Like grammar
capitalization.
is super lame.
Yeah,
But
it is lame.
But that's more a culture thing
That's such
than
a
like
funny
whether
thing to
you
be
can
lame.
do
Grammar
it
is lame.
thing.
They just make fun of you for knowing the right way to do something.
Yeah.
That's so
you're
funny.
capitalizing, you freaking
Comma?
old guy. Yeah.
Semicolon. I've never seen one of those. Are you 60?
They've never heard of an M dash. I swear to God, they've never heard of an M dash.
No, they haven't.
Yeah. So sure. So what was that about? Aged?
It's just
yeah, we
like-
derailed ourselves again.
it's so this is an edutainment game, and
Yeah, let's start
I
back at
think
the
it's
beginning.
we said it already. I think it serves its purpose extremely well. I don't think the purpose needs to be served anymore. I don't think it's.
Oh,
I don't think you need that skill
Wow.
anymore. Really.
I disagree. I think it
Disagree.
is an excellent skill for everyone to have.
I think it's a good skill. I'm not saying it's not valuable. I'm just saying it is less of a requirement than it used to be.
You know, the thing that's crazy to me
fair.
is these younger generations. Wow, they do every. This is gonna sound so
On the phone.
This is gonna be. They do it all on the phone.
But they're good
would-
at it. Like they
would do
edit.
but when I have something important I need to
Yeah.
do, I do it at
Computer.
desktop.
Same.
That's such
Same.
a millennial
I
thing,
know it
though,
is.
of,
Same.
like the idea of like having like phone tasks.
I'm not
and
gonna do
computer
a
tasks,
resume on my
but
phone.
I'm the same way.
No, you're right.
Like with everything.
That's how it transitioned,
It's
and they're so
crazy.
good at it. They like for TikTok, for example, they can end to end film, edit, and like EQ the audio and do it on their phone in like 10 minutes. It's so
No,
awesome.
It's crazy.
It's actually kind of sad for us.
Sure.
In the
I can
opposite
do it.
direction, my wife will like be like, "Let's order a pizza or something," and I'll be like, "Oh, I got to go to the computer." Like I got
See, I'll do
bad.
that on my phone.
yeah, I'll do that on the phone.
no, like
He thought we were with him.
But Wingstop, I do on the desktop.
See,
No, it's
everybody
easier.
has a line.
It's easier.
Everybody has a line, and you got to
My
know which
line
things you
is
do
Wingstop.
in which case.
Listen, graphics and audio. So voice acting is supreme.
Dude,
But in the most ridiculous way.
Voice
like,
acting-
It's the worst voice acting you've ever heard.
Shenmue voice acting all over again.
It's
It's
so
Sega,
bad.
dude. They're hilarious.
No,
It's
but
on
this
purpose.
one's intentional. Shinmu was not intentional.
Yes,
this
it
one's
was.
like,
I don't know
Yes,
if all
I'm
of it's
telling you.
intentional.
oh, this one's
Some of it
intentional.
is.
No, it's got to be.
Some of it is,
Thank
but
you
I
for
don't
saving
think
me.
all of it is.
But the big bad that's sitting at his desk is the craziest voice
What
acting
was
I've
he?
ever heard.
No,
this
the
is
craziest thing was the
intentional.
demon.
Yeah, the demon was pretty crazy too. That's pretty good,
Dude,
But
Yeah.
It's the
what's
funniest game
weird
I've ever
is that
played.
this wasn't just done for the typing of the dead. Those are all the voice lines from the House of the Dead.
from the actual
Yeah,
game.
from
Still
exactly.
Sega.
Right.
I
It's not like it was novel here.
It's the funniest voice acting on purpose. I
Yes.
love every single line I heard.
Yes.
It
Same.
made the like and keep in mind we already said this, when you're hearing these voice lines in between, they're wearing keyboards around their neck and Dreamcasts on their back. It's the funniest game I've literally ever played before. Okay.
Yeah, it's hilarious. The sound design is really good. What you said, but
Yeah,
the
guns.
bullet shots, the misses, all of those things are done really well. The music, I
Yeah.
guess, is fine. It's like that action music, but it's nothing that you're gonna listen to.
It fits though.
didn't
It's
even
kind of
notice
generic,
it half
but
the
it's upbeat the whole time.
Sure.
It's moving. It changes as you get to different areas of the game, like with the boss, and it keeps the pace going, which is a lot of what this game does well. Is that pacing that's just like nonstop, just like suck
Chaos.
you in with all that. Chaotic action, but like entertaining. And same with the sound effects. I agree, Dustin. They're good, but they're loud. They're over the top. They're arcadey and they're big, but they work here because that's what this game is. It's brash and it's like over the top, but it works.
There was a sequel, The Typing of the Dead 2, released exclusively in Japan in 2007, unfortunately. Kenny made reference earlier, but there's English of the Dead for Nintendo DS in
I
2008
gotta
and
play that.
2012, an iOS remake called Flick of the Dead. There was Overkill, a House of the Dead Overkill, then Typing of the Dead Overkill that released in 2013. And so there's a lot in this realm that you could get your fingers on, but I think like this is the core one that people
Yeah.
maybe refer to. It's definitely the one that started it all. If you want a copy for your PC, like an actual physical copy, or Dreamcast, that's what I looked up. Dreamcast, $80 used or loose, $131 new.
You say that like you're gonna just pop this in your Dreamcast. If you're buying this
You need the
game and
keyboard.
don't
You're right.
already have the Dreamcast accessory
You're right.
keyboard, though, you're also gonna have to buy a Dreamcast keyboard, and those are hard
Has
to
to
get
be
your
an
hands
adapter
on.
though. There's got to be an adapter, right?
There may be, but if you're just buying a straight up original
Oh
one,
yeah, it's gonna cost you.
you're not getting it easily.
Dustin's got it.
There's got to be a third-party Dreamcast keyboard creator that's out there.
Yeah, somebody.
You know, but
8-bit do.
the easier way is PC. You can play this on PC for just a few bucks, and you can get it from any of those normal PC providers.
Final thoughts.
At the end of each and every one of our episodes, we determine whether or not the game gets our vote for New Game Plus status. That's a general thumbs up or thumbs down. It does require 2/3 of the vote to swing one way or the other. Nolan, your final thoughts on The Typing of the Dead?
I love this game so much. It's very short. I beat it. I played it again.
Oh, you beat it and played it again.
Yeah, I didn't beat it twice, but I like booted it right
Yeah.
back up. Okay. It is actually good at teaching typing. I already know how to type, But we have played some typing games on the podcast that were garbage. But we've also played some edutainment games that were labeled edutainment and absolutely sucked at that. This game fits in the genre perfectly. I'm not exaggerating when I say I think it's one of the funniest games I've played in a really long time. It's so self-aware. It is such an enjoyable experience. It made me love Sega even more, and I already love Sega so much, especially in this era, like I said. You have to play this game. It is so good. I don't have one bad thing to say about this game.
I would say a lot of the same things. At the start of the week when I started playing, my wife walked by a few times and kept asking, who is this game for? Who is this game for? The answer is me. I loved my experience with this game this week. And the funnest thing was not knowing what to expect. I think I had played, or at least obviously I've seen in the arcades, The House of the Dead 2, but never obviously seen. If I would have walked in an arcade and seen a zombie game with 2 keyboards attached to it, I would have lost my mind. That sounds so much fun. I didn't get to do that. I loved every moment of it. I beat it. It was so much fun. It's got so much character and charm, and it does what it does perfectly. And I agree. It is great on the edutainment side too. I understand not being able to be in schools, because of its content, but it could teach for sure. And I'll leave you with one line that Kenny will appreciate. If the pen is mightier than the sword, it only makes sense that the keyboard is mightier than the gun.
It's deep. I shouldn't like this game. I don't particularly like zombies and blood. I don't particularly go for edutainment or typing type games. I'm not even especially fond of
Video games,
like the light ray gun shooter types. They're fun. They're just light and casual. Some people really like them and like go out of their way in arcades to play them. It's fine. I'm sort of take it or leave it. There's nothing about it that I should like. But it's so over the top ridiculous. I mean that complimentary, not derogatorily. The pacing is so right that it just like straps you in and doesn't quit. The humor's so funny, even though it probably doesn't deserve to be, because half of the humor is just like the randomness of phrases that they decide to give you and when, and like the mix of them. I don't know if I liked it quite as much as either of you did, and definitely a few of the things about the game, the capitalization not mattering, the way they chose to do spacing, some of those kind of things, as well as the like insistence on just keeping all the words the Britishisms, were like those could be improved, but this game is hilarious. It's fun. You're going to start playing it and you're not going to want to stop. There very, very rarely do I boot up a game from our podcast and then immediately go look for my wife to be like, you got to try this. I'm not even going to tell you anything about this game, but you just have to play it because what? And that was this week. It was over the top, but it was fun. It was funny. It was too much. I'm with y'all. 100% NGP. And what?
That means that the Typing of the Dead is unanimously New Game Plus certified. But what did you think?
I think that covert agents from Atlantis have silenced Dustin. So I'll do this part. On YouTube, 150 of you have commented on whether the Typing of the Dead is worth playing today. And 53% of you said yes.
53% of people know how to type.
Yeah.
They learned.
I think it's fairly rare, except for really hype games, like well-known titles, that we get over 50% on a yes.
Yeah.
So for as like obscure as this game is, that actually surprises me
high.
a little bit. So yeah, speaks to the hype. Only 3% said, "Nah, go play something else instead."
That's also very low for no.
Very low. Probably that's like 2 people.
Trolling.
You know, yeah. And I mean, they probably just don't have
Those are-
like fingers or something. You
Those
know,
are zombies.
yeah, exactly. They typed no with their nose, and I don't know. 43% of folks haven't played it yet.
Many of you wrote in your thoughts on Typing of the Dead. Shane said, Typing of the Dead is a blast. The terrible graphics and voice acting honestly only add to the campy B-movie style the game is going for. Actually playing the game is engaging and fun, making you keep an eye out for the extra letters you can shoot and try to be the quickest stroke in the West. Okay. Easy NGP from me, and 16 words per minute according to my winning run.
I mean, the words per minute numbers in the game are not like accurate, like typing
Very
words
different.
per minute at all.
Yeah.
I think on one of my runs I got like 2.
See,
So
that's
it's
bad, though.
No, it's very bad. But I'm just saying it's a completely different metric than like the real thing.
Yeah.
And I also love that everyone's pointing out the dialogue because
Yeah,
absolutely
you can't not.
notable.
You can't not. Team Bobo said, you learn to type and you get to kill zombies. This game's awesome, apart from the straight-up awful voice acting. But who's playing this for the plot? NGP for sure. Excuse me. I really wanted to know what happened to those agents.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think most people consider the bad voice acting a feature at this point, not even a bug. So yeah, win in my view.
Green Lizard said there's a charm to the 2001-ness of the game for sure. Visuals, voice acting, etc. But it has a single gimmick, and it 100% relies on it. And boy, does that one gimmick get old fast. Fun idea on paper, fun for a level or two, but that's about it. No NGP. Honorable
Okay.
mention for it being the least dyslexia-friendly game ever made. Why did they have to make the word dyslexia so non-dyslexia friendly?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have that.
Right. No,
So
I
can't speak
would
to
I
that.
could I can understand that would be frustrating. And when the game only does that thing, and then you're trying to like,
Oh, it's chaos for sure. Even
overcome,
for
like-
people without dyslexia. So
oh
I'm sure
yeah,
it's
it's
really
just like
bad.
nonsense. And you're right. It is a little repetitive. Like you do one thing, but I think most people like that one thing enough that they're like, it's worth it.
Well, and also the game's short enough that
Right.
it doesn't overstay its welcome. You know.
You think of what it's based on, like a light gun shooter, and like you're doing one thing over and over. It's simple, but that's
Yeah.
kind of by design.
Thanks for writing in, everyone.
Thank you for sending in your thoughts on the Retro Game of the Week. You can do that each and every week to ngppodcast@gmail.com or hop into our commentary channel in Discord. We'd love to feature your thoughts as a part of our episode next week. For now, we're going to set aside the Typing of the Dead, and we're going to randomly select the game that we're going to be playing for the next 7 days. I'll tell you one thing, it's not going to be as funny as this game.
Probably not.
Randomizing now. If you played Typing of the Dead on PC this week, stay there.
Oh, great. PC.
PC again, baby. And this sounds right up Kenny's alley because it's PC 2003 real-time
year.
strategy
It's not gonna be
Okay.
playable.
mixed with role-playing.
It's not going to be playable.
Okay, that actually scares me a little bit.
I
I like one genre. I like the other. I don't know how well they'll mesh. I don't even know what game meshes them.
That and Nolan, I do love that bit still from our one bad PC experience about 7 years
won't
ago.
Run.
Every time we get a PC
On
game,
Windows
y'all
11.
freak out like you don't know how to use computers. You'll be
Don't
fine.
install no virus, Kenny.
Well, I like RPGs. Kenny likes RTSs. How will it work together in a game that takes place within a high fantasy world following a devastating cataclysmic event? Wow, it sounds very unique. And features orcs and elves and humans. Wow, that's
Does
creative.
the main character have long blonde hair?
and a sword. Yeah. And well, I'll tell you this: the female character on the front, her armor's not going to protect much. Find a copy of Spellforce: The Order of the Dawn. Nope. Spellforce: The Order of Dawn, and play it along with us this week.
Spellforce? Kenny, do you know?
I mean, you could argue that this week we had to spell force. So it's fitting.
He's not going to answer the question you asked, and we're not even going to allow him to at this given time.
I'm going to say no, he doesn't know it.
Find a copy of Spellforce: The Order of Dawn, and play it along with Kenny this week.
Discord.gg/newgameplus. You can join our community, and you can let us know what you think about that Spellforce game.
When you play the Typing of the Dead for the first time and your life is better for it, you're going to want to thank us. One of the ways you can do that is by hopping on patreon.com and supporting your favorite retro gaming podcast financially. You'll be joining the likes of Bro Jim, Super Hypered, and Siegfried, who are our director level supporters. They go
above and beyond.
Above and beyond. I say it every time. They're the thesaurus in our hearts. And there's some other folks who are the dictionary of our hearts. Our producer level supporters, who include Alex, Alias X, Marley, Antonin, Ben, Craig, Dustin's 5 o'clock Shadow, Garlisle, Guardian Cade, Alex, Harold, Hey Brother, J. Robert, Jake, Joey, Jordan, Clint, Levi, Maxima, Megatroid, Miss Muso, Not Enough Dog, Retro Man, Sajin, Shane, Sasser, Scotty, Shauna, Snakematic, Psychomantis, Thomas Tins, Turtle, Unbedavable, and Zion. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for your vote of confidence.
You can follow us on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. Listen directly on any podcast provider of your choice. Make sure you subscribe so that you're the first to get new NGP episodes. And while you're at it, please leave a kind rating and review. Our episode artwork was created by our friend Dave. Our video episode was edited by our friend Dylan. Our audio episode was edited and produced by our friend Dan Willett. Join us next week as we play Spellforce: The Order of Dawn. Until then, I'm still QWERTY.
I'm still typing poorly.
Hey, you're going to mess up my Dreamcast backpack. Be careful.
And this has been NGP.